All right, Frank, right before the break, you mentioned there's a controversial topic that is not getting that much attention.
I'm talking about the kneeling because that was so many people talked about it during the Kaepernick stuff. Baseball was interesting. So baseball had all the players the first game, they knelt together before the anthem, and then they stood up during the anthem. Okay? Then in some of the subsequent games, they had a little bit of they all did the unity thing beforehand, but some knelt, some didn't. It was such a big storyline. Players kneeling, people angry about it, back and forth. Did it cost Colin Kaepernick his job? Now, fast forward, the NBA starts in 2 days. Story came out today that many of the NBA players are planning to kneel. What's the magnitude of that story as we move forward? Baseball started, we've seen some kneeling. The NBA's coming back, you're going to see some kneeling. What do you think the magnitude of that story is compared to what it was when Colin Kaepernick first did it 4 years ago?
Yeah, it's amazing how it is. I think people are a little desensitized to it. I still think it's something that is going to anger a significant amount of your fan base, but I think it's going to become more widespread. We're seeing that. I think you're going to see it week 1 in the NFL. I think the players that kneel are going to far outnumber the players that don't. And so I
because
think
that hasn't been the case in baseball. But again, we haven't seen basketball, football as a sports play. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, I think you're gonna see kneeling at least initially, at least in week 1. You're gonna see it very much in the NFL, and I think there's a more acceptance of it.
Right.
But I still think you have. I still get emails and tweets from people that are incredibly bothered.
I do too.
By players that would kneel.
I think the story has changed dramatically from 2016 or 2017, whenever it first began. And I think the majority of people who were furious and swore that they would never be a fan of the team if any players knelt during the anthem, I think the majority of that group has come to understand what Kaepernick was trying to say and the message that he was trying to get across. And I think a lot of people's eyes have been opened, mine included, because I didn't like the kneeling during the anthem back then. But there is a larger message, and there is a group of people, and that would be minorities, who don't get the same equal treatment from police officers. And that's not an anti-police comment. That's just what we've come to find out in the different news stories over the last year or so. So I think a large percentage of, yes, there will still be people upset, but I think a large percentage of people have come to understand why it's important. And because there are way more players that are going to kneel than ever before, plus you've got this virus that's really grabbing everyone's attention, I think they're like, all right, I'm just going to watch the game and I'm going to move right along.
How will it affect business?
It'll hurt it because it only takes one client to say, that's it, you're never getting another one of my dollars, for it to hurt you. It's just a question of, will it significantly hurt? I don't think it will hurt as badly as it would have 3 years ago, but I still think it's going to hurt. I think that's still a reason why you haven't seen NFL owners really embrace the kneeling publicly.
Yes.
I mean, how many owners have come out and said, of the 32,
right,
how many have come out and said, I fully support him kneeling?
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think two or three things. Lauren, you had the money line a minute ago. You had something very important. With the COVID out there, two things. Number one, there's going to be far fewer people there anyway. So it'll be hard to draw a line between how many people stayed home because of the kneeling, if indeed any did, because there'll be fewer there.
And if they don't show the anthem on TV, you're not having fans in the stands actually see who's kneeling during the anthem.
But they'll show the anthem on TV sometimes. TV will tell the story whether somebody knelt or not. But beyond that, I think what the Black Lives Matter did, to your point also, is not everybody's going to agree. Some people are going to be furious and ticked off. And Frangie, I'm never listening to you again because you talked about it. And Jaguars, I'm never coming to another game. I'm never spending another dollar. I'm never. That's not going away from everybody. To your point, Hays. But I think people now have a clearer understanding of what the message was, whether they agree with it or not. That's one thing I've learned about politics. Most people don't change. If I feel this way, then that's how I feel. But I just sense there's been so much divisiveness. I thought about this today. Someone said, "What are you going to do? How are you going to treat this?" And I'm a talk show host, so I can't duck the question. I hope in 33 years of doing this, I haven't ducked many questions. I really do. So I'm going to stand with my hand over my heart. And if I'm at a ball game watching and I got a hat on, I'm going to take my hat off and put my hat over my heart. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. It's my choice for me. But if someone next to me is kneeling, and someone next to me who's kneeling says, hey, Frank, by the way, I love this country as much as you do. I love this flag as much as you do. I'm as proud to be an American as you are, and I am as appreciative of the people who fought and continue to fight to defend my liberties as you are. Nothing about my American love changed. I just feel like there's a statement that we need to make sure we treat everybody equally, and if me taking a knee is a reminder of that, then that's what works for me. Who am I to say you're getting it wrong? Who am I to say you're not a good American because that's how you choose to send that message?